G'day everyone, it's me, the anti-theocrat, back with another one. Before I go into the main content, it's a quick sales pitch. It's the only one you're getting, so enjoy it. Below these videos, I do attach all links to the information if there are links to be had. I also archive all of the information if that's possible. I also supply links to other platforms for my content and how to support me if you wish to do so. That'd be nice, but no requirement. That's it. That's my intro. That's my sales pitch. It's all I've got. It's all you're ever going to get. And now, on with the show. Okay, I've got my air conditioner on. You're going to have to live with it if you can hear it. The summer heat is starting to hit, and I just got off a push bike coming home, so yeah, I'm in cool-off period. Yeah, well, there's been an election. Over in another country, there's been an election. It's not going to have an immediate effect on us. We do have an ocean and a government between us, but that election and its outcomes does have an impact on us, which is why it has always concerned me, the outcome of US elections. But I've been accused recently of being a snowflake because apparently I'm melting away over the fact that Trump lost. And I can tell you, I'm not melting away over the fact that Trump lost. Biden will have 2 years of a Senate, which currently he doesn't hold. And over the next 2 years, it will be a battle to see who has the most resignations or deaths for control of the Senate. How many by-elections have to be held and who wins them. In 2 years, we'll have the midterms. We'll see what happens then. They've got 2 years to tell us exactly how bad they're going to be so that the Senate things either move one way or the other. And I say bad because what I'm going to bring up is certainly a really good start. Yeah, after that, we've got another 2 years before presidentials again. And in those 4 years, it might be that, well, I don't think things are going to get massively worse, but they will not get better. Seriously, if you thought normality was what Biden was bringing, Biden and his supporters are the people who were behind the abnormality. Trump was normality. Trump was the normality that your country has so prided itself in. Really, that's what he was. You might have thought his tweeting or his grabbing of the pussy were horrible things, but in reality, his policy positions, his acts in government were pretty much normality. The abnormality is the stuff you may have just elected into office. And if you want to know what you've elected into office, well, the socialists stand heavily behind Joe Biden, and here's the first sign that they think they now own the day. AOC asks for a record of Trump sycophants. By the way, she describes you as sycophants if you supported Trump. That's how she will continue to consider you. You are all sycophants. And by calling you sycophants, she has already labelled you with the need for a tar and feathering at least. Fucking hell. Who were complicit in his administration. She's going to essentially say anybody who was in his administration or worked for his administration, but this could come down to the guy who had a sign in his front yard. The guy who will sometime over the next couple of years accidentally let out that he's voted for Trump secretly. Because those are the lists that have been getting put together. Those are the lists that have been created up to this point with her support, because she believes she now owns the government. This will only get worse for you. And this is what we were warning you about. This isn't me being a snowflake. This is from the horse's mouth. New York representative AOC has asked that if anyone is keeping a record of Trump sycophants who were complicit in his administration. Now, if you don't think that sounds like the communists on the march to find all the normies, you're fucking wrong. Predicting, by the way, I have first-hand family experience of the Chinese Revolution. I've heard the things that happened. My father-in-law was denied an education because his mother and father were considered upper class in their small rice growing community. His mother was the local nurse. She's half the village she gave birth to. She not that's their mother, but she was overseeing them. Right, she was the person who brought them forth into the world. And apparently her husband was a small trader. Because these people were considered elites, they were named. You had to name somebody. In your village, people had to be named. Because they were named, he was denied a formal education. He remembers the redcoats coming through the houses in the village and destroying anything of value, and making doubly sure that the people who had things had nothing left. They get a prize for destroying a house well enough as they left the house. Apparently he remembers one of the redcoats that came into their house doing such a thorough job, he was given a massive pat on the back and congratulations when he left. This is what this is about. This is creating the enemies, the list of enemies that need to be brought down. I don't think this article says it, and I'm probably not going to get right through it, but the people who are putting these lists together, the people who are citing these lists, the people who are using this woman's name to justify these lists, they are calling for anyone on those lists to be blacklisted, to not be allowed to have jobs for the rest of their lives, to have their businesses put on blacklists, to be destroyed economically. It doesn't matter. If a firebomb went through the window, they'd probably pat someone on the back for it. That's the level that they are calling for. That's the level of destruction of society that these people are calling for. You will be with us or you will be blacklisted. The redcoats will come. Is anyone archiving these Trump sycophants? And when they try to downplay or deny their complicity in the future. So this is it. This is, you can't even escape. If anybody has any idea and points the finger in your direction, if the finger is pointed in your direction, it will be claimed you hid everything. You hid your history. You're on the list. You will be seen to. I foresee decent probability of many deleted tweets, writings, photos in the future. Yes, you see that because you are creating that. You are creating a blacklist. You are hunting the dissenters. That is the plan. She followed up her comments with another tweet that ridiculed Republicans for portraying themselves as the party of personal responsibility. Yes, that's what they've been calling for. That's what I understand to be the main driver of society, is everybody should have personal responsibility. It is why I'm so anti-damn feminist. Because feminism takes away responsibility from women. The poor women's can't do nothing, they can't be responsible for nothing. Everybody should be responsible for the acts of their own actions. But she's using this to say that if she puts you on a list, that's just you having to take responsibility. It's not that she's trying to name and shame you out of ever voting Republican again. It's not that. It's not that you're going on a hit list which will be used to destroy your income, destroy your living, destroy your businesses, destroy your ability to get a job. That's not what she's doing at all. No, 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 no. Lol. At the party of personal responsibility. Yes, that means that if you do something and the law takes hold of you, you are responsible in the face of the law. It doesn't mean putting together hit lists. Again, I was accused of being a snowflake because I think bloody Biden, same shit, different shovel. Same administration. So same shit, different shovel. That Biden was a worse choice than Trump because this is what we were warning you about. And they're not even in the seat yet. The seat is not even warm. It's cold. It's still got Trump's ass in it. And this is what's going on. And this is what we were warning you about. If you thought this election was a return to normalcy by putting Biden in that seat, think a fucking again. Biden was supporting the abnormality you thought you were voting against. Yes, Trump could tweet. And yes, he's a big mouth dick sometimes. But compare that to having hit lists created for your political opposition. This is not fucking normal. Amongst those who replied to Miss OSO fucking bitch faces was Michael Simmons, a former Obama administration officer, who cited the Trump Accountability Project. Yes, like I said, they've been creating these lists since before the election. She just feels safe in saying it now. Yes, we are, Mr. Simmons wrote. Every administration staffer, campaign staffer, bundler, lawyer who represented them. Everyone. That means all of you. That means any of you who even said he might have done one good thing while in office. Anyone who can have the finger pointed at them. Even if you didn't support him. If the redcoats come and your next door neighbour points the finger at you, then you go on the list. A neighbour who doesn't like you. A neighbour who themselves wants to avoid being accused. That's all it takes, and you end up on the list. That's all it took when the communists did it in Russia, when they did it in China. All it took was pointing a finger and saying that person, that one there, they're not on your side. And that person would find themselves dead. Or totally without an inability, with everything that they had ever created in their life destroyed. The Trump Accountability Project's landing page states, the world should never forget those who, when faced with a decision, chose to put their money and their time and their reputation behind separating children from their families. I want to point the fucking hypocrisy of this out. Do you know who created the border lockups for separating children from families? You see who this guy who was talking worked for? These people created that. Trump continued it because it was good policy. There were children being illegally smuggled across the border by people who were not their parents. It has become a problem that the families who sold these children into sex slavery or whatever in the hell it was they were going off to do, it is the most likely option, isn't it? But the families don't want these children back. They were paid for them. If they take them back, the gangs might come out after the family. They might just buy them back again. I doubt it, though. They'll come after them because they're now the gang's property. This was a good policy with good intent. It was created by Obama, but you want to hold this against Trump as if he did something wrong. Well, I'm sorry, but I'm anti-pedophilia. Yes, you are not. We warned you. We fucking warned you this shit was coming. This is not about being a snowflake. This is exactly what these people are saying and what they've been doing. The Trump Accountability Project is not new. We've known of it for a long time. We've known that Obama created the separation of children from their families. And we've said it, and we've warned you, that lists like this were possible before they came about. Encouraging racism and anti-Semitism. Yes, did he? I would like to know where that happened, because you keep saying it, and I don't see evidence of it. In fact, in only 4 states, I believe, did Biden increase his vote to more than Hillary Clinton. In every other location, his vote was lower than Hillary Clinton. And it just happened to be the convenient states that could swing an election that he got more votes than Hillary Clinton did. Donald Trump turned massive numbers of black people and Hispanic people and Asian people to the Republican side. Was he encouraging racism and anti-Semitism? The Jews were out in the streets marching for him. Oh, fucking bullshit. You're all full of bullshit. And we saw this fucking coming. It's not like it hasn't gone on for the last 4 years either. Negligently causing the unnecessary loss and economic devastation from our country's failed response to COVID-19 pandemic. Excuse you. Biden's going to lock down your country harder. This has already been stated. The economic devastation you think you've already suffered is only going to get worse. And with the tax rates that he's been saying he's going to hit you with, you wait and see how many rich people take their business somewhere else. I mean, you've already got wealthy people saying, I'm not living in this state. I did a fucking video on that too. Gene Simmons, 50 Cent, both sold up and moved out of where they live in because of the tax rates. All it would take now, because Biden is saying he's going to side with the EU against the UK's democratic decision to leave the EU, all it would take now is the UK to say, hey, all you wealthy Americans, you and your businesses, we're going to charge you 30% tax rate. And the UK sits back and laughs at the US and the fucking EU for the next 4 years. Hey, fucking A. Bitchface comments about the Democratic nominee Joe Biden appears set to take the White House, whatever. Anyway, I think I'm going to give up at this point because, well, I fucking finished the story anyway, didn't I? But anyway, the whole point of this was, I ain't no snowflake. You were warned about this. We tried very hard to warn you about this. I know that over the next 2 years, things are going to float about for a bit, and then 2 years after that, if things are as bad as we think they're going to be, I would love to see the legal actions taken against these lists and see how that goes. But if this is going to be anything like as bad as we think it could be, and I hope for your sake it's not, and I think there could be challenge to it if it does start to move too hard, but you set up the grounds for this to happen. Biden wins this. You have established the grounds for this to go on, for this to be the state of your nation, and this is not normality. Didn't you think peace in the Middle East was a better deal? Do you think you're going to get peace in the Middle East under Biden? He's already saying he's going to side with Palestine. He's immediately going to stick a spanner in the works. Now, I'm not a big fan of the Middle East. I'm not siding with Palestine or anyone else in the fucking Middle East. My policy on the Middle East for a lot of years was to rain guns and ammunition down on them until its last man standing. And he can have it. But I tell you what, Donald Trump achieved something nobody else ever has. And I've relaxed that position. I think there could be a case for the Middle East creating some peace. At least some sense of peace. There's always going to be religious zealousy going on over there. But if the states can talk to one another, then there is hope. If Biden sides with Palestine, we're back to me thinking that raining guns and ammunition on them is right. It's not the best cure for anything. I prefer Donald Trump's. But I don't know what Donald Trump did. But whatever the fuck he did, he was good. Fuck, he was good. Anyway, I want to show you the most stupid thing I've seen this morning since I decided to put this video together. There it is. Single most stupid thing I've seen. This is a recreation of a iconic photo taken at the end of World War II. The end of the Pacific War, I believe. A sailor in the street grabs hold of a nurse and gives her a whopping great kiss. He puts her down and they go on with their lives. And the photo was taken by a photojournalist at the time, and he was just lucky to get it. These people have posed presenting themselves in that position. He's gone out deliberately dressed in the uniform. She's gone out deliberately dressed in the uniform. And they think they've just come to the end of the fucking war. The problem with these people is they've never had to fucking fight for anything in their lives. Everything was always given to them. These are post-war generations. I'm a post-war generation. I've never had to fight for anything. But I understand that the difference between this photo and the original is just pure fucking insanity, and these people are the insane ones. Because they've never, ever had it as bad as they did in the war years. And let's face it, the US and Australia were fairly unscathed by the wars. We lost people. People went to the wars, but the nations themselves were fairly unscathed. Yet, people did have to fucking fight. And that is not what this portrays. This portrays fucking insanity. Anyway, I am going to leave it at that. I just wanted you to know that regardless what happens the next 4 years, what we were warning you about has already been put on the table, has already been put forward. You might see a move to the Green New Deal, which if you actually sit back and read it, and I dare you to sit back and read it, you will find is essentially a communist manifesto for taking over control through, several social policies. It has fucking almost nothing to do with environmentalism. in the same way that the Paris Accord has fuck all to do with environmentalism. And these are the things we will be going back to for the next few years. If what we projected was going to happen happens, and in the light of the fact that some of those projections are already coming forth and they haven't even taken the seat yet. I ain't no snowflake, but I do recognise when we're going down a shitter. And that's it. I've had enough. I'm going. I do not want to do this anymore. I've had enough of this. I'm out of here. I've been the anti-theocrat. May your gods remain fictional. And I will see you in the next one. Until then, have fun.